Silence isn't weakness, it's preparation. The first time they showed up at sunrise, banging on my gate like they had some God-given right, I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because in that moment, I realized these people really thought a cedar gate my grandfather built 60 years ago belonged to them. You ever had somebody look you in the eye and try to rewrite your life with a piece of paper? Yeah, stay with me. What they tried next will leave you shaking your head. So there I am, standing in a Montana morning with a half-warm mug of coffee, watching three silhouettes block the sunrise at my front gate. Out here, folks don't show up before dawn unless there's a wildfire or something died overnight. Instead, it's Bethany Crowell, the HOA president, navy blazer, arms crossed, flanked by two board members in business casual like they're headed to a budget meeting, not a working ranch. She didn't even say hello, just launched straight in. Mr. Carter, we require access to your property for inspection. Your gate falls within Wellington Heights jurisdiction. Now, you ever hear something so dumb, you just need a minute to make sure you heard it right? I'll let it hang there, steam rising off my coffee, the only warm thing in that moment. Behind her, the board members started tapping at a tablet, scanning my fence line, acting like they were already writing me up. I kept my voice calm, but I felt it, irritation crawling up the back of my neck. What inspection? And what jurisdiction are you talking about? Bethany lifted her clipboard like it was a sheriff's badge. Your gate blocks an access route required for community oversight. We need to verify compliance. There was not a request, a need. As if my 200 acres filed and deeded decades before the word HOA even made it to this part of Montana was suddenly part of their little kingdom. Your map must be wrong, I told her. My ranch isn't part of your HOA. Never has been. She gave me this tight, condescending smile. According to our records, this area falls within the boundary expansion adopted in 2019. I almost choked. Boundary expansion doesn't override county plats, and my land predates your association by 60 years. The guy with the tablet perked up. The other board member stepped forward and rattled my gate latch. I drew a line right then. Step away from the gate. You don't have authority here. Bethany exhaled through her nose like I was a toddler refusing bedtime. Mr. Carter, refusing access will result in fines and further enforcement actions by the board. My hands are free now, coffee set aside, gravel crunching under my boots. This is private property. Unless you have a court order, you have no right to step past this gate. Bethany stiffened. Board members traded glances. This wasn't the script they expected. HOA folks bank on fear, on folks folding fast, or at least stammering for a lawyer. I gave them none. Bethany tapped her clipboard a little too hard and slid a folded notice through the bars like a court summons. We'll proceed formally, then. They retreated to their SUV, posture still too confident for people who just got told no. I waited until the dust settled, then opened the notice. HOA compliance demand, boundary references, violations on a ranch that had never belonged to them. I folded the paper slow, like my granddad did with things that made no sense. Why now? Who told them they had a claim to my gate? The wind shifted, carried the cedar scent toward me, a reminder this land had deeper roots than any bylaw. Inside, I laid the notice on the kitchen table. 3 demands. Remove the non-compliant cedar gate, trim the trees, pay 3 years of HOA dues. Dues for a neighborhood I'd never been part of. Signature, Bethany Crowell, President. I didn't get angry. Anger wastes time. Instead, I went to my office, drawers full of records, each labeled the way my granddad taught me. I pulled out the black binder, Carter Deed Original. 60 years of paper armor. Original plat, deed transfer, survey, annexation exemption. Page by page, every date, every stamp. My land had never been inside their lines. County never allowed annexation. Water rights protected the rest. I logged into the county portal, punched in my parcel number. But in the activity log, access at 2:14 a.m. 2 nights ago. User ID unknown. Someone had been inside my property file. You need credentials for that. It lined up with the HOA's sudden confidence. Screenshot, evidence. Always evidence. Then the phone rang. Unknown caller. I answered cautious. Jake Carter. A woman's voice, brisk, rehearsed. This is Officer Mills from Wellington Heights Community Compliance Division, calling to confirm receipt of your notice. I cut her off. Community compliance isn't a government office, and I'm not part of your community. Silence, too long. Then she forced confidence back in. Our boundaries were adjusted. Your property is within. No, it isn't. Check your county plats before you call again. She inhaled sharply, then hung up. This wasn't just Bethany's ego. This was coordinated. I copied every record into a new folder. HOA dispute, do not remove. As I worked, a truck rolled past my window, slow, watching but not stopping. People were watching now. I read the notice again. At the bottom, Section 3.4, Boundary Integration Authority. Integration? That word doesn't belong in real land code. Authority granted after county acknowledgement. Had someone forged a letter? Pressured a county employee? I drove into town, straight to the county office. Marlene was behind the counter. She'd worked there longer than the paint on the walls. Jake Carter, haven't seen you in a while. I got right to it. Anyone from Wellington Heights request access to my parcel? She checked. Not that they're supposed to. That user ID? Not county. External login, temporary clearance. Who gets those? Developers, survey firms, HOAs, only with petitions. But Wellington Heights hasn't filed a single request. We stared at each other. Jake, be careful. Messing with records is serious. I know. That's why I'm here. She handed me certified copies, fresh stamps, ink still drying. Physical records, they can't be hacked. Back at the ranch, I laid everything out, maps, deeds, photos. Whoever accessed those county files had just shown their hand. But they hadn't seen mine yet. Next morning, I find a drone rotor blade on my front step, snapped clean off. I scan the tree line. Nothing moves. Half an hour later, a drone hovers over my barn roof, camera glinting in the sun. Not a toy, a mapping drone. It zips back toward the subdivision. I take photos, document it. Evidence. Then, 3 quick knocks at my door. Man in a blue polo. HOA crest. We're here to conduct an exterior assessment. Multiple reports your structures may violate HOA visual standards. Istare. My property is not part of your HOA. He says, our records indicate your parcel is pending integration. Provisional enforcement applies. I say, no, it doesn't, and you're trespassing. They don't budge. Clipboard man starts taking pictures. We have authority under Section 3.4. You have authority where you have authority. I snap. Not here. He keeps snapping. Stakes hit me then, not just harassment. If they manufacture enough evidence, they can file nuisance complaints. Counties bury people in those. I block his view. You need to leave. We're documenting conditions. On land you don't own. Finally, I see uncertainty flicker. As they walk away, the polo man snaps a picture of my gate. That photo wasn't for the board. That was for someone higher up. Minutes later, I find a fake county letter taped to my workshop door. Looks official until you notice the .org email, the missing case number, the made-up name. A claim the Wellington Oversight Region has authority. No such entity. I document everything. Shoe prints, tape tire tracks. Another vehicle drives by, passenger filming my house. 3 incidents, 30 minutes. This was organized. I go inside, spread out the evidence. Every piece forms a pattern. False documents, altered boundaries, manipulated data. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Comply, Jake. It's easier for everyone. Screenshot. Evidence. The HOA was moving fast because they thought I wouldn't fight back. They didn't know who I used to be. I unroll the original plat map. My granddad's careful hand. This land has history. Every fence post hammered before half those HOA homes existed. A shadow moves outside. A drone, low, close enough to hear the whine. They're not hiding anymore. I raise my camera, snap photos, watch it retreat. Let them feel the pressure. By nightfall, the ranch is quiet, the kind of quiet after a first strike. At midnight, my motion sensor trips. 3 quick pings, not wildlife. 2 figures at the gate, dark clothing, gloves, hoods. 1 with bolt cutters. Then the camera catches Bethany's face. They break the lock, my grandfather's lock. The sound cracks through the night. They step onto my land, snapping photos like they own it. I hit the floodlights. The whole yard explodes with light. Bethany stumbles, drops something, a pearl necklace, engraved CVHA President. They run for the SUV and peel out. I record everything. Minutes later, county deputies arrive. Deputy Reyes has known my family for years. He sees the broken lock, the open gate. I show him everything, video, necklace, fake letters, drone shots. This isn't an HOA issue anymore, he says. It's trespassing, destruction, attempted forced entry, forgery. He takes it seriously. This is a coordinated effort. Someone is pushing this HOA hard. Back inside, I feel the shift. Not fear, but leverage. They crossed a line on camera, and they handed me the evidence. I had something better than a lock now. I had proof. The next day, I call Sarah Whitfield, a land rights attorney out of Helena, known for dismantling schemes like this. I lay it all out. She says, Jake, this isn't standard HOA harassment. This is premeditated. Someone wants your land for development leverage. Why me? Because your ranch is the only legal access to the lake from the West Ridge. Developers kill for that. We agree to meet. Before I leave, I install 2 wildlife cameras, one overlooking the gate, another facing the subdivision. They cut the power, I'll still have eyes. Just before dawn, my cameras catch Bethany and Marcus Hale, a developer planting survey stakes, filming, measuring. Their voices on audio. Once the boundary's established, he'll have no grounds to contest. This isn't about compliance. This is about acquisition. I send Sarah everything. She replies, even at 5 a.m., this is now a coordinated unlawful land acquisition attempt. Do not engage. I'll prepare the filing. The next day we file. Trespass, fraudulent boundary manipulation, harassment, attempted annexation, forgery, emergency injunction. Judge calls an expedited hearing. The HOA board comes in, Bethany smug, Marcus absent. We present it all. Fake letters, drone footage, midnight break-in, boundary maps, neighbor testimony. The judge isn't buying their defense. She rules fast. One of the clearest cases of jurisdictional overreach and coordinated misconduct I've seen. HOA and Bethany found guilty. Harassment, trespass, unlawful surveillance, attempted fraudulent annexation. Bethany removed as president, banned from HOA boards for 10 years. Personal and HOA damages awarded, criminal charges pending on Marcus. After word spreads, neighbors apologize. The board resigns. Bethany's resignation pinned under the word removed. Sarah says, you did everything right. The sheriff tells me, wasn't about winning, was about keeping what's yours. Justice has its own timetable. A week later, a local teenager asks, why not get Newgate? I tell him, because this one has a story. Some things don't need replacing, they need protecting. That Cedar Gate stood through intimidation, lies, forged documents, trespass, and a campaign built on arrogance. It outlasted all of it. Real peace, finally. The kind earned, not given. This land doesn't answer to intimidation. It answers to truth, to history, to the people who respect it. And now, again, it answers to me. So let me ask you, where do you draw your line? When do you decide enough is enough? Drop your thoughts below about justice, about the power of documents, about standing up when everyone else sits down. And if stories like this hit home, subscribe and ride along for the next one. We're just getting started.